Today we are going to focus on long multiplication. We're going to start out with simpler problems and we'll get into larger numbers later on this video. So to start things off, I'm going to start by multiplying 12 times 4. So when it comes to long multiplication, we're going to start off with the first column. We'll multiply 2 times 4, which equals 8. So I'm going to take that, place it right there. Now, we're going to move on to the second column. So we're going to multiply 1 times 4, which equals 4. I'm going to place the 4 right there. You get final answer of 48. Now, we'll run through another problem here, make sure we know what we're doing. So, let's go with 43 times 2. So, again, we're going to start with the first column. We're going to do 3 times 2, which equals 6. I'm going to take the 6, put it right there. Now we're going to move on to the next column. So we're going to do 4 times 2, which equals 8. So we're going to take that, put it right there. And we get the final answer of 86. Now, I'm going to write up 2 practice problems. I won't put up the answer for a few seconds, so that way you have time to practice. So we're going to do 11 times 8 and 31 times 3. So I'll give you a couple seconds and I'll write up the answers. Okay, so 8 times 1 is 8. Then 8 times 1 is 8. Then 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Now we're going to move on to slightly more difficult problems. So we're going to go with 14 times 5. So again, we start with the first column. So we have 4 times 5, which equals 20. So we're going to take the 0, place it right there. Now we're going to take the 2, place it right there. Now we're going to move on to the second column. I'm going to multiply 1 times 5, which equals 5. But we can't forget about this 2. We add that to the 5. So 5 plus 2 equals 7. So we place a 7 right there. Let's clean this up a little bit. We get the final answer of 70, or 70. Let's run through another problem. So, we're going to go with 27 times 3. Again, first column, we do 7 times 3, which equals 21. So we take the 1, and we place it there. Then we take the 2, and we place it right there to use later. Now we move on. Let me change that real quick. Now we move on to the second column. So 2 times 3 equals 6. But we can't forget about this 2. So 6 plus 2 equals 8. And we take that 8 and we put it right there to get the final answer of 81. Now, I'm going to write up 2 practice problems. And then I'll give you a couple seconds and I'll write up the answers. So we're going to go with 16 times 6. And then 29 times 2. So I'll give you a couple seconds. If needed, you can pause the video and then I'll write up the answers. Okay, so 6 times 6 is 36. And 6 times 1 plus 3 is 9. So the answer is 96. And then for 29 times 2, 9 times 2 is 18. And 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So the answer is 58. So now we're going to get into multiplying two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. So it gets a little bit more difficult. So we're going to take 13 times 12. So again, focus on the first column. I'm going to do 3 times 2, which equals 6. So we're going to put the 6 down below, and we'll move on to the next column. So 1 second. So 1 times 2 equals 2. So again, we'll place that down below. But now here's where it gets a little different. So we're done with this number. So we have to place a 0 as a placeholder down below. So whenever we start, we're going to multiply 1 times 3, which equals 3. And then that goes right there. And then we move on to the next column. 1 times 1, which equals 1, which will go right there. Now, we have to add these two up. So 6 plus 0, 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. And then 1 is 1. So our answer is 156. We'll go through and we'll do another problem like this. Hopefully clear up any questions or confusion. So let's go with 23 times 13. So we're going to start the first column. So 3 times 3 equals 9. So we have 9. Now we'll move on to the second column. So 2 times 3 equals 6. So we'll put 6 down below. Now we're going to move on to this column. But don't forget that because of this number, we have to put a placeholder down below, 0. So we have 3 times 1 equals 3. And then 2 times 1 equals 2. So then we have to add these up. So we have 9, 9, 2. So the answer is 299. Now we're going to get into a slightly more difficult problem. So we have 57 times 42. So we start the first column. So we have 7 times 2, which equals 14. So again, we take this 4, we put it down there. But then we got to take this 1 and put it right there. Then we move on to the next one. So we have 5 times 2, which equals 10. But then we have to include this 1. Plus 1, 11. So we have 114 for the top number. Now we're going to move on to this one. So we have our placeholder 0. Then we have 7 times 4, which equals 28. So take the 8, put it down below. And we got to take the 2, and we got to put it where the 1 used to be. So we're going to erase that 1. Place the 2 right there. So now we're going to multiply 5 times 4, which equals 20. But we got to include this 2 up here. So 20 plus 2 is 22. So we have, now we're going to add these two numbers up. So we have a total of 2,394. So now we're going to use the concepts that we just learned about, and we're going to do slightly larger numbers. So we're going to multiply a 3-digit number and a 2-digit number. So give me 1 second. Okay, so we're going to do 259 times 57. So we're going to start out with the first column over here. We're going to do 9 times 7 equals 63. The 3 is down here, and the 6 goes up here. Then we're going to move on to the next one. We have 5 times 7, which equals 35. So now we're going to take the 35 plus that 6, which equals 41. So now the 1 is right here, and the 4 goes up there. So now we're going to take the 7, multiply that by the 2. So 7 times 2 equals 14. We're going to add the 4 for a total of 18. So our top number, 1,813. So because of the 7, so 0. We're going to move on. And 5 times 9 equals 45. So the 5 goes right here. And the 4 will go right where this 6 is. So we erase those previous numbers. Put the 4 right there. Just so it looks cleaner, we erase the previous numbers. So we have 5 times 5 equals 25. But then we have to add that 4. We get 29. So we bring the 9 down here. And put the 2 up here. Now we're going to move on to the last ones. So we have 2. 2 times 5 equals 10. 10 plus 2 equals 12. When we add these numbers up, we get 3, 6, and here we have 17, so we've got to carry that 1, and then 2 will be 3 plus 1 is 4, and carry that 1 down, so we have 14,763. So now I'm going to show you how to multiply a 3-digit number by a 3-digit number. And then with this, you can multiply a 4-digit number by a 3-digit number, 4-digit number by a 4-digit number, any number bigger than that. So I'm going to start off with 376, multiply that by 253. So we start off here. 6 times 3, oops, let me erase that. So 6 times 3 equals 18. 7 times 3 equals 21, plus the 1, so we get 22. And then 3 times 3 equals 9, plus the 2 equals 11. Oops. So now we're going to place the 0. We got 6 times 5, which equals 30. So we got another 0 comes down here from there. Then I'm just going to erase these so we don't get confused. Take this 3, put it up there. Now I move on. 7 times 5 equals 35. The 3, so we have 38. The 8 goes down here. 3 comes up here. And I move on to this one. So 3 times 5 equals 15, plus 3 equals 18. Or plus our 18. Now we move on to the last one. So now we have both of these, so we have to put 2 zeros. Now we go. So 2 times 6 equals 12. And then again, I'm just going to erase this so it's cleaner. So the 2 comes down here. The 1 goes right there. So then 2 times 7 equals 14. So we'll take a 4 plus 1 equals 15. Take the 5, place it there. Take the 1, place it right there. We take 3 times 2 equals 6 plus 1 equals 7. Put it right there. Add those together so we have 8, 2. Here's 11. And we have, so 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10, so we have 15. We have 7, 8, 9. So our answer is 95,128.